Yes, Preeti, over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Very good evening to everyone. I welcome you all today for today's webinar. My name is Preeti. I'm one of the sales specialists at Protas Professional Training. So before we start, let me give you a quick overview about us. ProTouch is a certification institute which is providing upskilling courses to the professionals like HR generalists, HR analytics, POSH, train the trainer to deliver POSH trainings, corporate trainer as well, and facilitator, train the trainer certification as well. We also provide customized programs. So all the programs are accredited by the top most global bodies like SHRM, HRCI, CPD, and IBEC. I'm so glad to see many existing students, team members, and aspiring, students of ProTouch who has joined this learning session today evening. I would like to know from which locations you all are joining. How is the energy? You can let me know in the chat box on the scale of 1 to 10. Over to you. Sujaya, so sorry, from Kolkata. Amazing. Welcome, Sujaya. Anupama from Mumbai. Rahul sir from Gurgaon. Great Mumbai. Great Gurgaon. Dhanao. Veera, welcome Veera. Akash from Gurgaon. Roshna from Kerala. Nice. Amazing. Great. Shailen from Pune. Pooja Yadav from Vidyut sir from Bihar. Great. I'm also glad to know your energy. Our scale, 1 out of 10. How would like to scale your energy? 9, 10 out of 10. Great. Amazing. Great. Amazing. Mohit, 10 out of 10. Great. Nice. Kashish, 10 out of 10. Shesh from 10 out of 10 from Mumbai. Ritika, 10 out of 10. Umang, 11 out of 10. Amazing to know from you, Umang. Roshni, 10. Great. All right. Thank you so much for sharing your energy. So now let's begin with the learning session with Anamika Verma and Vidyut, who is our guest speaker for today's evening webinar. So I'm so much glad to introduce that Anamika is holding 10 years of experience in investment banking as a finance analyst, as well as a trainer. In 2019, she started her own IT business in Pune, and alongside, she started her journey as a full-time corporate trainer into soft skills. Vidyut, on the other hand, I know Vidyut personally. So he is holding 32 plus years of work experience in different domains. Also, he is holding 16 plus years of work experience in HR domain as well as in training, 16 plus years of experience in global IT companies. So he is an experienced soft skill trainer in behavioral, attitudinal, managerial skill as well. Currently, he is working as a director in L&D, HR, and IT in a major real estate group based out in Pune. So the floor is open to both Anamika and Vidyut. Over to you, Anamika and Vidyut. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much, Preeti. Thank you so much for such kind words. So very much thank you for everyone to joining, taking their time out and joining in this beautiful session we are trying to accomplish today. Today, we will be talking about emotions, what are emotions, how are emotions important, and what are the elements of our emotional intelligence. We will also be discussing one of the most important elements of emotional intelligence. And now I will just start sharing my screen and would request Vidyut to take over. Today's session, we will be calling the session we are trying to hold today, we will be calling it Know Yourself, because it is all about you. Vidyut, over to you, please.
Yes. Thank you, Anamika. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Let's quickly start this with a quick, short icebreaker. There are some instructions which are going to come on the screen. And we would like you to, follow those instructions. Anamika, if you can go forward. You have to think about 3 important words. And those words, you have to note them. Now, some of you may have a pen paper next to you. Some of you may not have. So write it down somewhere, maybe in a WhatsApp message for yourself. Just write 3 words, one related to personality, which should be a characteristic. Like, for example, has been given here, honesty or lying, not dependable or dependable or something like that. One animal. Don't take cat and dog, which have been already given as examples. Use your creativity. There are many animals in this world. Find out one animal, one activity, any activity which is an action. That's something which we do as an action. And now I would like you to put this, some of you as participants who would like to participate, just raise your hand in the Zoom call, and we will pick you up then. And you have to create a story. Now, what you have to do is you have to use these 3, typically those 3 selected words. One would be characteristic, one would be animal, and one would be activity, and put them into a sentence and just stop after, giving your sentence. Now, the story will have to be continued by the next participant. Now, once the next participant includes these 3 and, says something, then the next one. So like this, let's see how the story goes creatively and navigates into, creation of a story. Now, we have said, okay, just now, a couple of days ago, Valentine's Day was, celebrated. Let's use that as a theme. Let's use that as a theme and create a story around it. So, for example, I'm giving an example. By the time, people can start writing those 3 words which they would like to share with the audience. For example, I'm taking the example of DDLJ, Dil Wale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. So I'm starting this story saying that, Raj is an honest 20-year-old boy. He loves dogs and had a Labrador named Rocky with him. On Valentine's Day, he took it for a walk, and somewhere on the road, he met Simran. So now I finished my, couple of sentences with these 3 words. So somebody who wants to take that forward can continue with that story by using their 3 words. So now, who would like to, continue to take on this story further? I would just request that, don't make that request, will you be my Valentine in the next one? Leave that to the 5th or the 6th participant, because the story will end over there. All right. So who all would like to participate in this exercise? Any takers? Hello? Anamika, would you like to take that for the next one? Just for the next,
Sure.
Conversation, so that, people get a hang of it.
Sure. So I will take forward your story that Simran was walking into the garden and Simran was eating an ice cream when she saw Raj coming with his girlfriend.
Oh my God.
I made it a bit complicated. Now, who is going to take it?
Yeah. Yes. Anybody else?
I think Dr. Warner raised her hand. Please go ahead.
Now it is very difficult because on Valentine's Day there is a breakup happening. Simran saw Raj with someone else.
Who knows? Who knows? She saw her with a girl. She saw him with a girl and she assumed she's his girlfriend.
So now it is very difficult. So handsome Raj started ignoring all the dogs he had with him and went running meeting Simran. So I think that is how I can take it up.
Yes, this turns the story other way around.
Okay, great. Anybody else interested? Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, let's go forward and let's see, there are these emotions locked into these kinds of, stories. So let us see what are these emotions. So we'll go to the next slide and figure out, what is the relationship of these emotions. So let us identify. I would like to, go to the next first emotion that comes up.
Yes.
Yes, Anamika, if you can just press enter so that, okay. So now, which is this emotion based on, based on the emoticon that is in front of you? Can you please put it into the chat box, please? What does this emotion emoticon indicate to you?
Meghna is
Happy?
saying happy, smiley.
Yes. Pooja is saying smiley. Joyful, happy, yes. More or less, yes, yes. Absolutely, happy and joyful. What about the next one? Anamika, you can go forward, put on the next one.
Yes.
What emotion does this emoticon indicate?
Rahul
This
says
is a new type of emotion nowadays, Oh,
Yes, looks like it's
yeah,
kind
we couldn't find butterflies, so we went with hearts.
okay. Okay, what about the next one? You can go on, Anamika.
Yeah.
What does this indicate to you? Yeah, the second could be love, actually.
Yeah.
Indicating love. What is the third one?
Tarun says what happened
What happened?
when Raj reached
Surprise.
nearby Simran.
Okay, Uman Singh is continuing with the story. Okay, in the front of a lion. He
Surprise.
showed his aggression. Okay. Okay, we have passed that now. You can continue this creative story in your mind. And yes, the surprise element. Yes. And what is the fourth one? The one which has come up, angry.
Angry. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yes. And the fifth one, a variation of that possibly. Anamika, you can go on to the next one, please.
Yes, I have already pressed. We have the last emoticon now.
Ah, okay.
Frustrated, yes. Dislike.
Dislike, frustrated.
Disagree. Yeah.
Yes, so disagree and so on. So let us see what are these emotions. You're absolutely right. Everyone is bang on. So let us understand, what does this emotion mean? In today's lifestyle world, we have so much of stress. Actually, so much of stress is so much of transactions happening inside our mind. We are constantly dealing with so many things on and on and on and on. So an emotion is actually a reflection of our feelings, right? You can go on with the slide, Anamika. Put on those statements as they come along, and I'll keep on speaking. So the point is that, so these emotions, can you see this wheel of emotions? Before that, there is one slide which shows that, emotion is a feeling what happens inside our mind comes out as a emotion in the outside world. So it's important that, somebody who keep their feelings inside, then there is no emotion. Once that is out in the world, then that is emotion. So it's a reflection. So it's like, having those emotions clearly indicated to the world. What does that behavior indicate? Probably that kind of a behavior will indicate a childlike behavior. A child does not know how to control the emotions. Now, what are the kinds of emotions that are available in the world? You can see the amount of, psychological investigation that has happened. You can see almost there are 6 kind of categories of emotions. If you can see in that slide, some of them, the slide may not be fully visible. I would suggest everybody to take a screenshot of this slide and then expand it and try to figure it out. We came out with 4 or 5 emotions at the start of the slide. But here you can see love, joy, surprise, anger, sadness, and fear. These seems to be the 6 main categories of emotions. And then further, they are divided into almost 34 types of emotions. Each, like joy, classified into 8 more items, emotions. Sadness, 6 emotions. Surprise, 5 more emotions. Love is another 5. Anger, another 5. Fear, another 5. You can see we have not even known the names of all these emotions, right? Do you think they are important? Do we experience them? I think yes, we do experience them. We do experience many of these feelings, and we kind of express them as emotions to the world. But then, we'll have to understand what is this emotional intelligence. If we express them as they come along, people will say it's an immature behavior, right? Or it's childlike behavior. They express whatever is in their mind, exactly the feeling is coming out as an emotion into the world. And that is what people will understand. Okay, that emotion gives us some kind of a message. So emotion is used in communication as a part of communication. So you'll see what the actors do in acting is actually hiding the feelings or creating those emotions for the outside world to be communicated through a film or pictures, right? So is it important for us to understand so many emotions? All put together, there are 68 variations of emotions. Do I need to know them? How many of them are important? How many of them are supposed to be known by me? So for learning a little more and the in-depth part of it, let's go on to the next one.
All right, so I'll continue from here to help you understand what is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, also known as emotional quotient (EQ), is the ability to understand and use and manage our emotions in positive ways in order to release stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, and overcome challenges and diffuse any conflict. To me personally, the E in the word emotions stands for evoking. Evoking is why evoking is important, because if you are not evoking your feelings, it is just meaningless motions. That is the reason I am emphasizing on the letter E. Moving forward, why are emotions important for us? Why is emotional intelligence and emotions are important for us? So, emotions don't only help us communicate in the outer world. As Vidyut has shown in the wheel, we have so many emotions inside us. These emotions directly impact our behavior with others. Emotions help us communicate with others. When we are sad, we will need some help. We can communicate with people. Or suppose we are walking on a street, we suddenly see a car rushing towards us. Our emotion of fear of getting hurt rushes inside us and we jump beside. That is another emotion, and how emotion help us to act sensibly. Moving forward to this emotional intelligence statistics shared by Dr. Travis Bradbury, who is a well-known self-assessment expert. He shares with us that 50% of our emotions, 50% of our job performance is affected by our emotions. So if you are feeling really distressed, you are depressed, you are stressful, your performance of that particular day will be impacted. If you are happy, your performance may turn out to be very good for that specific day. Dr. Bradbury also advises us that 90% of top performers are very high in emotional intelligence. Around the world, we are seeing a lot of motivational speakers, a lot of successful people around the world, Elon Musk and everyone. All these people are very high in emotional intelligence. People with emotional intelligence make more income than people who are not so much emotional intelligent. These guys who we see sitting on the top in India, outside the world, are even looking forward to hire their team with asking them so many personal questions, so many situational questions to know how this particular person will behave in a particular situation, to know that what is the level of emotional intelligence in that person. I think Vidyut is there. Vidyut, you are
Yes,
there?
I am back. Yes, I am
Yes,
back.
Vidyut.
Let's go
So
on to the next one.
yes. So Vidyut,
So,
will you be taking us through the
yes, of
elements
course,
of?
of course.
Yeah. Thank
Yes,
you.
of course. So let us see what this Daniel Goleman, he's the father of emotional intelligence. He has coined this term and he has done an analysis of the emotional intelligence components. And let us see if you can go further, spread out the bullet point, please, Anamika. So first is self-awareness, which is what we are concentrating on. We are concentrating on that particular aspect because in this 1 hour we can concentrate only on one of them at this moment because it's a huge and vast subject. So what is this self-awareness? It's conscious knowledge of one's own character and feelings. Understanding oneself is very, very critical and important because unless we understand ourselves, we can't go analyze our other feelings and other emotions. Second is self-management, taking the responsibility for one's own behavior and well-being. As we said, emotions are the outcome which actually define the behavior and the well-being of a person. So that self-management is the second most important component. The third is the motivation, to understand why we are doing what we are doing. It's very, very important that we understand the logic behind or the reason behind, because every time there is a reason, we always react most of the times instead of showing a response or giving a response. This is one thing which we have to learn in life. So unless we are having a very strong EQ, which is emotional intelligence quotient, we will not be able to positively respond rather than react. So that's another thing. Social awareness, the ability to take perspective and empathize with others. So that is also very important in a social segment. We are always we are not independently running our lives. When we are at home alone, that's different. But as soon as one person enters in our home, whether that's a relative, whether that's a friend, whether we go into a school, college, in an office atmosphere, or generally in a society, immediately those rules of society are they do come in, and when they act, we have to act differently. So when I'm at home, if I feel sad, I may sit down with a sad face, I may even cry. But if I'm in a social setting, I will not be doing all those things. Correct? So those are the ways, those are the four things. And the fifth one is social skills, how we interact and communicate with others. So yeah, the fifth one is the one which is how do we interact and communicate with others. So these are the 5 major elements which we have to deal with. As far as Daniel Goleman says, these are the 5 components which we kind of have a command. We will have this. So next, going to the next one, which is social self-awareness. I request Anamika to take over, and she's going to tell us more about the social awareness, self-awareness, as
Thank
far
you.
as the elements are concerned.
I
Please.
think Anamika, let's take a pause here and let's be on this slide. So I would love to ask the participants who are attending the session, according to you, from these 5 factors, which is the factor is most important for you, as far as your current psychological, emotional state is concerned. So Meghna is saying self-awareness, amazing, Meghna. Let me know from others who are attending the session. You can also unmute yourself and let us know. Yeah, that's a basic step. You're so very well said. Self-management, wonderful. Self-awareness, self-management. And it is so nice to see that, everything starts with self, right? Either it can be self-management or self-awareness. Wonderful, Mohit. That's so nice to know. Great, great. Wonderful. So now Archana, so nice to know that now you are able to hear us out. That's wonderful. Great, Umang. Umang always write explicitly, right? Very good, Umang. Great. So many people are writing and no one has come with social skills and social awareness. However, when we will start growing in our career, that is also going to be important. But the change begin with self. I think that is very important. So let's have a look at it more, that, what is self-awareness and how we can bring it more. Over to you, Anamika.
Thank you, Dr. Panna. So self-awareness is the conscious knowledge of one's own character and feeling. Self-awareness asks you to be aware about what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and what you are doing. So self-awareness is the ability to focus on yourself and how your actions, thoughts, and emotions are going to be aligned with what is happening in the outer world. So I will take 5 minutes because I want to tell you a beautiful story to you all, so that I can help you understand why self-awareness is most important. I can already see most of the people have chosen this element as most important, but let's see it through a story. Once, once upon a time, there was a pregnant lion. She gave birth to a cub and died just after that. The cub walked amongst a herd of sheep, and the mama sheep saw the cub and went towards him, and she accepted the cub. She adopted the cub and decided that I'll raise this cub as my own. Soon the cub started to mingle around with all the sheep babies, but the sheep babies were not accepting it. They started bullying the cub, saying that you're a disgrace on sheep. You don't even talk like us. You're not even looking like us. Why are you living with us? The cub was very disappointed with all this bullying, and he started spending his time alone. One day, a big lion attacked the herd of sheep. Every sheep was running here and there, and with this group of sheep, this cub was also running here and there. So the lion got confused why this little lion is running with sheep. He cornered the cub, and the cub was so scared. He said, "Please don't eat me. I am a little sheep. Please leave me." The lion said, "What? What nonsense. You're not a sheep. You're a lion. You're like me." Upon hearing this, again that little cub said, "No, I know I am a sheep. Please don't eat me. Please let me go." The lion thought for a moment. Then he took the cub towards a river. And in the still water of the river, the lion showed the cub his reflection. And that in that excitement, the cub roared like a lion. All the sheep who were hiding from the big lion were also now scared of this little cub, because he realized his true potential and what he was. This big lion, which came to the rescue of this cub, was the metaphor of self-awareness. And this river was nothing but a metaphor for self-reflection. When the cub realized what his true potential is, nobody was coming to bully him anymore. And this story is not about external aspects. This lion, this big lion, comes to rescue us, who comes to rescue the cub and tell him his true potential, is not in our outer world, it is within us. We have to do the self-reflecting to understand our true potential and where we should belong. This is the whole point of self-awareness. Thank you so much. Now I will be moving forward with Vidyut, so that Vidyut can tell us the benefits of self-awareness.
Yes, please. So as you've seen in the story also, which connects you to the self, you can see clearly that, self-awareness does improve our ability to manage and regulate our emotions, right? And Anamika, you can put the slide on, please. If you can put enter, so that one by one all the points are clearer. It helps you to clear the next one. It helps you to clear with a clear communication. The Lion Cub was absolutely clear once the cub actually saw itself in the water as a mirror. Further, these kinds of self-awareness, clarity about our own personality, it helps in appropriate decision making, of course. And then the next one is, if you can put on, yeah, relationships, valuable relationships can be made desirable. You can value those relations which are important for you. You can ignore the ones which are not important for us. Yeah, the next one, self-awareness also gives a higher level of happiness, because as we understand ourselves, we understand our emotions much better. We can understand and deal with those emotions in a much better manner once we are aware of variety of, as we saw, 64 categories of various kinds of shades of emotions are present, which we are not even aware of. Now, being aware does help us to be able to deal with them. Next is, you have more confidence and higher levels of happiness in dealing with those emotions also, and we appreciate life much better because of that. It helps in job satisfaction. Many of us don't even know what is our job satisfaction. Are we really satisfied with our job? What is it that we want in a job? We kind of take up jobs because we take our degrees and we take our education, and then we go forward in life because we have taken that. Many of us are sometimes not even satisfied with what we are doing in life. So that is also possible once we are aware of what lies, what motivates us, what are the main emotions which we are happier about. We can deal with those things. That will help us in being better leaders and giving some desirable leadership to the followers. So, and the last one, second last one, next one is generally a very good overall perspective in life. That is what overall one would like to, and it helps us in making more appropriate choices in life. Last one. So excellent overall perspective to make more appropriate choices. These are some of the identified, which we have tried to identify for you, so that what are the benefits of having being self-aware. So now you'll say, with youth, it's fine that you've given us a lot of inputs on what makes us aware, what is awareness, what are these emotions, what are feelings, what is the difference between all of them, can we have something to understand ourselves. So we are going to have you go through one small assessment. It'll take not more than 3 to 4 minutes, including instructions 5-7 minutes. Let us go through those assessments. Sorry. And I'll be sending you the link in the chat box.
I just
Yes,
sent the link.
okay. Anamika has already pasted it. You can click on that link. It'll take you to a page where there are about 11 questions. You have to answer them. I request all of you to click that link and then go to that page. And once you reach that place, just about 11 questions you have to answer. Just ensure that you read them correctly and then answer them, because they are confusing. It's meant to confuse you if you're not going to read them properly. The reason why they have been put in sometimes some of the questions have been addressed differently are that you can read them correctly and pick up the most appropriate answer that you feel is right for the moment.
All right, so we will be taking a pause. It is 7:34. Yeah. We will start again at 7:40. We are giving 6 minutes for that small assessment.
Before you submit, you will get a score, emotional self-assessment score at the end of the form. Just note that score with you. Just keep that ready with you. Note it so that we can tell you what does that score mean later. Thanks, Pallavi. Just like Pallavi has shared a score, you guys also can share your score in the chat box so that you have it ready when we show the next slide, and you will be able to take that analysis a little further. Yes, Sumanji, we will come to know about what is it out of and what does that score mean. Just a few seconds.
I think Vidyut, let's go ahead with the assessment evaluation while others are putting their.
Yes, you can put on the slide, please, for the full
Yeah.
assessment.
Yeah.
Yes, including the last part, please.
Okay.
So these are the figures which you can see. So people who are in the 29 to 33 are the best. They are having a very high emotional intelligence quotient as far as self-awareness is concerned. We are not talking about the whole of emotional intelligence quotient here, which consists of 5 areas, which we saw in Daniel Goleman's description. But here, they are the most efficient as far as self-awareness is concerned. They are most self-aware, whoever has got the score between 29 to 33. Those participants who have got score between 24 to 28, we can say they are proficient in managing self. That they are good, they are having very good command over themselves as far as understanding of their self is concerned. The scores between 23 to 19 are the ones which are having little vulnerability. And what does it vulnerability mean? Your vulnerable needs to improve self-awareness. That means we can improve a little bit. Need further improvement. That means we learn how to do that. When Anamika explains in the next slide, what are some of the techniques and steps to improve ourselves? And the ones between 0 to 18, it's a cautionary thing in the sense, they could be very, very young people, and or possibly people who have not yet experienced, life as such, or not such tough life as such. And those could have these kinds of low scores. And I'm sure people with those low scores are experiencing life as they go along the life. So you can see that, they have a, lot of to learn about their life and the role in, being in charge of your life. They are not really in charge of their life for the people who have a score between 0 to 18. when you say 18, somebody has got just about 18, doesn't mean that, they are immature, and the person who's got 19 is now very self-aware, and, it's not like that. But take it in stride and let us see what Anamika has to say about how to use those techniques to be a little more proficient. So good. Thank you for participating in this. And almost everyone has got their scores in front of them. And I'm sure they will use this when Anamika explains all these tips. We'll be able to see a much brighter picture. Yes, Anamika, go ahead.
So Vidyut, let's take a pause here. Let's start, ask the participants. Just go back, Anamika, one slide. Is
Yes.
there anyone who has a confusion here? Any question you would like to ask to the presenters? Just think about it. We are going to tell you the techniques also. That is also there. If there is any question, doubt, you can ask. Any question? Okay, so Poonam has got 920. That's fine. Great. Wonderful. Did you find this activity useful? Let me know. If it is useful, just put useful word in the chat box so that we get to know. That's nice to know, Anupama. See, Tarun is asking what is vulnerable stage. Please, if someone can. Wonderful. Okay, before we get into the discussion of that word, also let me know, are you finding it relatable? That means, yes, you also feel that whatever score you have received is the right score. Do you feel so? If right, just put right in the chat box so that we get to know. Okay, that's nice, Archana. Okay. See, because, when Vidyu talked about emotional intelligence, yes, there are 5 factors. But as you know, entire test we cannot take. So we have taken only and only self-awareness right now. Okay. And I hope that will give you a lot of insights. So over to Anamika and Vidyu, that if you can explain a little bit on what do you mean by vulnerable?
Sure. So I guess Tarun asked this question. So
Yes.
Tarun, vulnerable means that you are not aware about your actions, your feelings, and the kind of feelings you have in your heart, you have in your mind. And because you don't know them, you can't control them, you can't regulate them. And that will hugely impact whatever you are doing, whatever you are doing a job, you're doing business, you are teaching someone, you are talking to someone. But until and unless you have a whole self-awareness about your feelings, about your actions, the vulnerability stage will hamper all your actions.
Yeah,
I hope this
I
answers.
would like to add. Yeah, thanks, Anamika. I would like to add a little bit, like when you say we are vulnerable, means people can manipulate us. People who are very strong in dealing with emotions can come and manipulate our feelings, and then take away whatever action they would like to take. For example, if I am a person who gets angry very easily, then my colleagues know that Isco, let's irritate him a little bit and get away with it, and we'll take out some work from him. So, or we are very, very, if I'm a little emotionally very, very sensitive kind of a person, people will kind of, or for example, people would like to get work out of me, and they'll say, "Are Vidyut, you are a great person, you always do, you are the best master, you are a master in Excel, can you do this for me?" And what I'll end up is, because I get carried away because of somebody's appreciation, I'll end up doing extra work for them, right? So these kinds of vulnerability in manipulation is possible, and that's where the score lies. When if you have a score like that, people will take you for a ride. That's what it would mean. For cautionary, though, it's definitely there. And they are kind of children who have to follow a certain path, kind of an approach, that kind of a thing. So is that answer, that question answered, vulnerable?
Yeah,
It's
I
okay?
think you have given a
Move
really
forward.
good example also. Wonderful. I have also added one thing. There is a wonderful book called Lead by Vulnerability. Okay. So there is a wonderful book, and there is a TED talk by the author also given, and I have given that in the chat box. So maybe if you see, we have to take the context into the picture. If you are very young, then vulnerability will become the barrier for you. But for example, if you are on a leadership level and you are vulnerable and you speak about what are the challenges you face, you speak about what are the fears you have to people, that will be taken in a very stride, right? Because that you accept your weaknesses so well, you accept the situation so well. So there is always a context to it. So in fact, now things are changing, and which talks about that more the vulnerable leader you are, better it is for your team, because you show the human aspect of it. You don't have to be like a metal, like a he-man in front of your team all the time. You are an emotional person. You know, we always say, there is one more participant who is right now also online. She is my team member. She always say, ma'am, I'm emotional. Na? That's bad, right? That's not good, right? Because whenever she speaks, her eyes gets watery like this. I said, please understand, having a emotion, being a vulnerable is the sign of being alive. A dead body never has emotion, isn't it? What 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 make us different than alive and a dead? That is emotion. Suppose you might be alive without emotion, and then you say, what's the use of that life? I hope I'm making a lot of sense to all of you. So there are no bad emotions, there are no good emotions. We give a meaning to those emotions. Happiness is good, but if I'm happy because Preeti has lost the race, is that happiness good? Am I making sense? So, you know, it's very important for all of us to understand not a single emotion is bad. Even anger is not bad. But very important, where is coming out. Like, for example, if there is a rape happening in the country and I'm feeling anxious, it is a wrong thing to happen. The anger is good. But how do you express it? That makes a difference, right? So never ever feel that I'm bad. No, you are unique combination of all these emotions. Okay, so जब हम बोलते हैं ना रेड कलर में येलो मिक्स करो तो अलग कलर आता है, रेड में येलो में व्हाइट और ब्लैक यूज करो तो अलग कलर आता है, उसी तरीके से वी हैव शेड्स ऑफ इमोशंस एंड दोस इमोशंस आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Okay, so vulnerable is also a good stage. Okay, over to you, Anamika.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aparna, for such beautiful insight. So
Yes.
now we will be discussing the 7 ways, 7 techniques to improve your self-awareness. The first technique is question your own opinion. Remember this, asking yourself why you want to do is why you don't want to do something when you know you want to do it is not about putting your decision down. It is not about putting your self-image down. It is just to seek whether there could be another option or another way to do it or another way out of this situation. That is the reason. Always question your own opinion. Take regular feedback from others, because a lot of times we are not aware of our own qualities. Other people who we interact with every day can tell us about our qualities, but we are not aware about them. We don't know what we said and in which mindset we did or said something. So take regular feedback from others, take negative as well as positive feedbacks, and keep up with positive feedbacks, but also work out on the negative feedbacks.
So again, I'm sorry here. What you all can do once you go after this webinar, just write what are your best 3 qualities on one page. And that page has to be with you. It's like a Karan Johar show, right? Keep that page with you and ask other people, what are my top 3 best qualities? What are my top 3 best qualities? And you will be amazed to see the result. For example, if you say, maybe I'm good at maybe speaking, someone may not even use speaking, someone will use something else, and you will get to know these are not only your top 3, but there are many more qualities you have. And very important thing is this, if you have your friends list, if you have a broadcast list of your own friends, send this, what are the 3 top skills, top 3 qualities I have, please let me know. Okay, maybe in the sequence. Then, for example, if you have 10 to 12 people, then see what is pattern coming out. For example, if I'm talking about Preeti, and then energy is coming out, that means her best quality is energy. So please understand, ultimately, it's not what you think about yourself. Sometimes we underestimate ourselves, but people know you better. And now you will think, why should I bother about people? Understand, because other people will only give you promotions. Other people will only give you everything. So what is it that they perceive is very important for all of you. तो वो जो सोशल मीडिया पे चलता ना कि मत सोचो क्या कहेंगे लोग, वो ट्रेंडिंग के लिए अच्छा है, but when you will start growing in your career, you will get to know what people think about you at workplace makes a huge difference for your promotional, promotions. I hope I help you on that. So you can do this simple thing with feedback activity. Do you promise me to do that? If you promise me, just let me know, say promise in the chat box so that I get to know that. Yes. See, it's ultimately knowing about yourself, isn't it? Wonderful, Tarun, Pooja. Do that and you will see the huge difference today. Okay, great, Preeti. Over to you, Anamika.
Thank you. So the next technique is know your negative emotional triggers. Self-awareness helps you realize what are the external behaviors that will trigger your negative emotion. And when a negative emotion is triggered, something bad can happen. You may get into such kind of conversation you can never reverse. So always keep a track, just like Dr. Aparna suggested, write your 3 strengths, 3 best qualities. You can also write about your negative emotional triggers, what hurts you the most.
I'm sorry, I have to jump in. There is no negative. For example, you start for appreciation. Am I right? मुझे लोग praise नहीं करते. It's not negative emotion. It is your hunger. Are you getting my point? Like, for example, in the night, someone wants to have an ice cream and someone wants to have a biryani. Someone wants to have a Maggie. Is everyone starving for every same thing? No. Everyone starves for something else. So in the similar way, you starve for something. Okay. So if you need appreciation, if you need maybe sometimes attention, maybe you need that love, whatever it is, but it is very important for all of you to understand. You are not negative. Say, I am not negative. I'm a wonderful person in this world, right? So let me give you only one thing here. What you can do is whenever you felt angry, whenever you feel anything, go back to these minimum 3 situations in the past. Go back to minimum 3 situations in the past, right? And write down 3 things. What was that situation? One thing. What was the thought came to your mind and how did you feel? What was the situation? Maybe situation was in the office, right? And I was trying to say something. That was the situation. Then what happened? Someone interrupted you. What was the thought came to your mind? He's not allowing me to speak. How are you feeling? I'm feeling inferior. Are you getting my point? This is where you get to know. Then you do little why analysis. Why am I feeling inferior? Why am I feeling inferior? Why am I feeling inferior? On 5th why, you will get to know you're superior in this world. That's a magic. That's a magic. So what are the things, 3 things you will tap? Situation, thoughts, and feelings. Situation, thoughts, and feelings. Preeti, it will be good if you can put it in the chat box. Okay, only three situations. If you do it, past 3 situations which were extremely disturbing for you. It can be sometimes disturbing for you also, क्योंकि वही जख्म को हम उधेड़ रहे हैं तो थोड़ा मुश्किल होता है, but that is okay. बोलते हैं ना कि if you want a long term solution, you need that operation. That pain is required, then only you will grow through that pain. Okay, so do that. Great.
Yes, so just adding a bit, the whole point is not to suppress whatever you are feeling. Just learn to communicate it in a better way. That's all. The 4th technique is write a journal. You can write it morning, you can write it in the night, anytime, whatever you're feeling. You do not need anyone to read it. You do not need to share it with anyone. But how you started your day, how the way they went, this will help you be aware about what situation made you feel how. This is a very helpful technique. So start writing a journal. Practice self-discipline. Why self-discipline? So that you don't impulsively react on anything. Suppose suppose in office, your colleague started talking to you rudely. So impulsively, if you will also start talking to him rudely, it will just create a fight. It will just create a quarrel. Instead, just take a pause, let that person say whatever he has to. Ask that person, what has happened? Why are you talking to me like this? And with self-discipline, you can take that angry conversation into a better way. Get out of your comfort zone. This is very important. Whatever we do, we will not be able to grow in professional or even in personal life if we just want to play around in our comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. Go travel that city you always wanted to, but you're in fear that I can't travel alone. Go do it. Get out of your comfort zone, and then only you will gather a lot of new experiences in life, and then only you will see how progress works.
You know, when we talk about getting out of comfort zone, you don't have to go to do something adventurous and paragliding only.
Yes.
Don't worry, because it is not possible to do it in our day-to-day life, right? Every day you cannot go on travel, right? So in your regular life, what is it that you can do is do something which is very different. It can be as simple as that, you know, I never wore this kind of a color. I'm wearing it today, right? Is it doable? Show me your thumbs up. You can use the reaction buttons, right? Is it doable, right? I will tell you, you may find my examples little different, but for example, I always put liner. Today I will not put it. थोड़ा सा अलग करते हैं. हर रोज कुछ एक चीज नहीं करते हैं. If you look at it, that's a psychology because it gives a lot of dopamine, right? Because you're doing something new today. Right now also you're feeling good. Please tell me yes or no, because you're learning, and learning gives you highest level of energy, highest. Or that's the reason you say, how do you don't feel depressed? You're always motivated. Boss, I keep on reading, I keep on training, learning, training. So that is how you are always motivated, right? So learning gives you that. So do some new course, watch some new TED Talks, you know, do something new every day. Simple thing. And you will see huge change in your way. And then very important it is, डर के आगे जीत है. You know, you cannot do big things. Your mind only need one thing. I can do it. It is doable. There are so many people who feel discomfort wearing one color. Yes or no? No. I cannot carry orange color at all. No. होता है ना? Wear it. What is bad in that? So start with small things. You will get into big zone then, that is called uncomfortable zone, and then you will get addicted to that. कि मजा आता है यार, जितना मजा होगे वो उतना आप करोगे. So मजा आना बहुत जरूरी है. Okay, great.
The last technique is clarify your core values. Just a few slides back, Dr. Aparna gave us a beautiful example that if Preeti is losing a race and you are happy, is that happiness good? No, that happiness is not good. If Preeti is winning a race and then you are happy, that happiness is good. Understand your core values. And to understand your core values, you can reflect on the times when you felt happy about something, when you felt uplifted due to some incident, and you felt empowered. These kind of incidents will help you understand what is the most meaningful thing to you, and ultimately it will provide you guidance for your future self, that what should I do in future. So reflect in time, understand, take your time for yourself, only for yourself, take 10 minutes and think what are the things in past that made you feel so much happy, so much empowered and enlightened. And based on that, you can clear your values and
Anamika, are you there? Yes, yes.
yes, I'm there. So these are the 7 important techniques to improve self-awareness. I think we are done with this session. And I hope, I really hope, yes, yes, please with it, sorry.
Yeah, Namita, I would like to ask the participants, which one of these 7 is the most difficult to practice?
Very good.
Can you give the number of here in the chat box? Because all this sounds very good, but trying to practice them, some of them are very difficult to practice is what people may be feeling. So I would like to know which one seems to be more difficult to practice. 4, writing a journal. 6, getting out of your comfort zone. So 4, already, there are tools in life right now. Just go about little about. Rahul sir has already given one reflection app, which is excellent for journaling. Let's try to use that for handling this point number 4, writing a journal. 6, getting out of your comfort zone. Dr. Aparna just now mentioned how to do it on a small little actions. A very small action can also start getting out of the comfort zone. As she mentioned, you don't have to do paragliding every month to get out of the comfort zone. So let's start doing small things in life. So that also probably has been answered. 4 and 6. In fact, if you ask me, I find number 5, practicing self-discipline, as the most difficult one. You know why? Because nobody is looking. Nobody is behind me to check whether I'm following my discipline or not. आज का सुबह सिर्फ मैं थोड़ा ज़्यादा सोता हूँ. Who's going to ask me? That is the most difficult. But waking up at 5 o'clock and going for a jog by 5:30, if nobody is asking, that self-discipline seems to be most important and most difficult for me, if you ask me. Just sharing that. So check out which one seems to be more difficult. We have already shared some of the things. Anamika has already shared how to handle some of these self-improvement techniques, and do practice them. Take a screenshot of this, and as Dr. Aparna has already said, try to use them. Feedback already answered. Feedback, how to take feedback. Take it from people who you respect, people from whom you have a good equation with. Otherwise, it may turn out to be a little bit of a sore kind of a thing. So use your maturity in that. Check from people who really appreciate when you ask for a feedback, and do that. So these are simple techniques which can be used, and it's not that we start using it and then next 15 days we'll start seeing the results out of it. It's a long drawn process, but still, small incremental changes will help us in improving our self-awareness. That is all I would like to add. Thanks, Anamika. So the next is like any questions. All that we have discussed till now. If you have any questions,
Anamika, you can stop sharing the screen.
Yes. All right.
You can also use the please.
Yes, any questions? First of all, big round of applause for Anamika and Vidyut. How wonderful, And I always think that in this 1 hour Thursday webinar series, we learn so much. It's just 1 hour, but huge learning happens. Thank you so much for putting these efforts. So any questions for anyone, any questions? Or you want to share your experience, anything? That will be really great. Unmute yourself or use the chat box. Okay, so I just would like to know my favorite question to everyone. If you have to put your experience of this today's session in one word, what will be that word? Just put it in the chat box, please. Yes, let me see what is coming out. Amazing, learned a lot. Wow, marvelous. That's great. Let's see what comes out. Thank you, Archana. Excellent. You were very participative. Motivating. Very nice. Amazing and effective. Great, Vera. Thank you for joining from Ghana. Insightful, eye-opener. Lovely, Pooja. Thank you. See, when we appreciate people, how much positivity we get. When you are writing those words, your mind is reading those words, and that's how you get, positivity, isn't it? Great. So over to you, Preeti.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was amazing, Anamika as well as Vidyut. So today we also have founder of Rotash as well as director Dr. Aparna Sethi and Mr. Rahul Sethi with us, who can help you to get clarity about ProTouch certification programs. If you have any questions, you can please put your questions on the chat box, as well as you can unmute yourself, and then you can ask your clarify your doubts accordingly. Over to you, dear participants. Any questions, dear participants, to Dr. Aparna, Mr. Rahul Sethi, or to the guest speakers? Please feel free.
Yes, you can be part of this series on every Thursday. Almost every Thursday we have these sessions and we learn a lot. So Anamika, Vidyut, how was your experience? I would love to know that. Anamika, over to you.
Yes, it was amazing, and I would like to add for anyone who has joined and want to know more about how ProTouch certification works. Dr. Aparna and Dr. Rahul gave amazing training and hold your hands to guide you through the next steps of your career. They provide, I have done the trainer certification, and it has given me a great insight towards what I want to do, how I can pursue my training career next. So please, without any doubt, go ahead and go for these certifications.
Thank you, Anamika. Anupama is having a question: how HR analytics works in an organization. Would you like to take the question, sir? Would you like to take this question, Rahul, sir?
ये राइट ब्रेन और लेफ्ट ब्रेन साथ में आ गया इमोशंस में एनालिटिक्स आ गया ये
I think HR analytics is strongly growing in most organizations. Organizations are increasingly realizing the importance of using analytics as part of their decision making. Although there is a lot of talk around HR analytics, let me just keep my answer simple right now. As we grow in our career, we all need to make decisions. And order to make decisions, analytics is a great way of making more intelligent decisions which are based on facts and figures. Organizations, as the organization becoming more complex and competitive, they are realizing that making much smarter decision, which has a higher probability of success, is important. And that's where organizations are using analytics as part of their HR decision making. And I think that's how it works. Now, how it works is a long process, and I think you can connect with me separately, Anupama, if you are keen to have a longer discussion on how it really works, because that will need explanation which may not be appropriate at this stage. But happy to interact with you on this.
So Annapurna, no? No, what's her name?
Anupama.
Anupama, are you in touch with any career advisor here? Please let us know. Are you in touch with maybe Preeti, Sunita, Mohit, anyone?
Hello, Anupama. You can just use the chat box as well, if you're in touch with any of our career advisors at ProTouch.
Okay, so let's.
She's a participant in HR.
Okay, you have already joined the HR generalist post. Then so you can get in connected with Rahul anytime. Okay, you can take his appointment and he will help you out. In the meanwhile, I'm receiving a lot of things like, I'm on a career break. How can this course will help me? I think, yes, career break is a huge pressure which we all carry. However, if we have taken a break for our family, for our children, I think we should be all proud of it. It's just a matter of our confidence coming back and coming back to the system. right? Hence, if anyone wants to get into the course, it will give you a lot of updated information. Let me tell you, we're very proud to say that we train you, which none of the books will give you in that way, right? That can be models, that can be, because we experience, like, for example, if I train someone on HR or train the trainer program, entire week from Monday to Saturday or Monday to Friday, I perform as a HR director. I deliver a lot of training programs, and over the weekend, I share that experience. So you learn from the practitioners, which is very important for all of you to know. Okay. And that comes handy like this. None of the books can give you that. So that is how it is. And there are many people who have started their career after doing these courses, because you get a good network, you understand the lingo of the corporate, you get that confidence back, and that's how you can do it. I hope, because the person has sent me the message in the chat box personally, so I'm not putting the name here. I hope things are very clear to you. Great. So Vidyut, over to you very quickly. Yes.
Yes, please. As you've rightly mentioned, I am already having 32 years of experience, out of which 16 years are with HR profession. But I still find this curriculum and this course and the certification so very useful. So I have no doubt in my mind that anybody who wants to pursue training should approach Protest first and then decide. You can do an analysis. I myself have done an analysis of various websites and various other institutions which also promise, and some of them are big names. But I still chose ProTouch, which is also a big name. But everybody claims to be so many internationally acclaimed. But I found the curriculum which is inside it very, very apt and appropriate to the point, which is something which is very, very unique. And I would suggest that anybody who is looking at present in this conversation and is looking forward for joining, I think they should seriously join this curriculum. Any course you can start with, depending on your interest, but you will gradually get on to various other courses. I'm sure about that. Thank you very much, ProTouch. And thank you, Dr. Aparna and Rahul, for starting this lovely company. And I would like to continue to be associated with your company for long, long years together. Thank you very much indeed.
100%. हमारा एक टैगलाइन है, सेशन के साथ भी, सेशन के बाद भी, right? So we make sure that we will be with you till the time you block us, right? And with this, such a salute to your hunger to learn, that after having so much experience also, you have come for the certification, and the journey of learning is still on. I think that is what I learned from you. You're such a humble person. Thank you so much. So I think we had a wonderful time. Thank you for joining in. If you need any details, you can get in touch with us on various social media handles. If you want to have this program recorded, this will be uploaded tomorrow on YouTube channel. Preeti, it will be nice if you can put a YouTube channel. I think you have given the link also. So you can look, that is where your entire program will be also updated there. And keep learning. That is very important. Good night. Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, all the participants, for joining. Good night. Take care. Thank you to the host. Bye-bye. Take care.
Good night, Preeti. Did a fabulous job. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Good night.